All right, here we go. So, on this first part, they give you f of x is x minus 1, and g of x is x squared minus 2x plus 1. And number one, they want you to add these two together. So when you're adding these together like that, you literally are just adding like terms. So if you look, there's an x squared here, but there's no x squared over there. So it's just going to be x squared, and then negative 2x and a positive 1x is a negative x, and then positive 1 and negative 1 are going to cancel each other out. So that's your answer, is just x squared minus x. And then when you subtract, you have the first one, x minus 1, right? And then you're going to subtract the second one, x squared minus 2x plus 1. So you're essentially going to distribute this negative sign throughout all of this and then add them. All right, so when you distribute that through there, what you end up with is x minus 1 for the first part, and then negative x squared plus, because negative and a negative make a plus, 2x, and then minus 1. So that's the only x squared, so we have a negative x squared, and then x plus 2x would be a positive 3x, and then negative 1 and negative 1 is a negative 2. That would be your answer. When you multiply, you do just that. You're going to multiply, and you'll take x minus 1 times x squared minus 2x plus 1. So you're going to take the x and distribute it through, and then take the negative 1 and distribute it through, and then add like terms. So x, don't mind my fingernail polish coming off, by the way. X times x squared gives you x cubed. X times negative 2x is a negative 2x squared. X times 1 is just x. And now we do the exact same thing with the negative 1. So that's going to give us a negative x squared, a positive 2x, and a negative 1. And then we add everything together. So x cubed minus 3x squared plus 3x minus 1. And that is your answer. Now in the division, you're going to take x minus 1, that's your f, and you're going to divide it by x squared minus 2x plus 1. Now, looking at this, there's nothing, you don't think there's anything that can be done, but this guy right here can be factored. So always check to see if they could be factored. And so is there a number that you could multiply times to get 1? Would be positive 1 times positive 1, or negative 1 times negative 1. But then if that's the case, let's put it here, positive 1 times positive 1, when you add those you get a positive 2. Negative 1 times negative 1 gives you a positive 1 when you multiply them, but when you add them you get a negative 2, which is what we need. So we can write, or excuse me, we can factor this polynomial into x minus 1 times x minus 1. So now we have x minus 1 on top, and x minus 1 and x minus 1 on the bottom. Since we're multiplying these, we can eliminate that top, basically factor out the top x minus 1 and one of the x minus 1s on the bottom, leaving you with just 1 over x minus 1. Now, we're not finished because we have to tell what x cannot be equal to, because we can't let the bottom be 0. So if I put a positive 1 in here, I would get 0 on the bottom. So here's my answer, but x cannot equal 1. And that's your answer. So again, you need to always make sure you let me know what x cannot be when you're doing these dividing ones. Okay, on number 5, they want you to find g of h of x and h of g of x. So essentially you're going to put this in for x here and see what you get, and then you're going to turn around and put this one into x there and see what you get. Okay, so if I do g of h of x, I'm putting h into g. So here's my g equation, 2x, right? But instead of x, I'm putting x plus 2. And then you distribute and you get 2x plus 4. And then when I do h of x, or h of g, I'm going to put g into h. So here's my x plus 2, and instead of x, I'm putting 2x. So that's going to be 2x plus 2. You're going to do the same thing here. You're going to take x squared and put it in for x. So here's x minus 3, and I'm going to put x squared there instead. That's going to be x squared minus 3. And then I'm going to take this and put it in for x there. So here's x squared. Instead of x, we're going to put x minus 3. So remember, when you have x minus 3 and you're squaring it, it's really x minus 3 times x minus 3. And so you're going to have to FOIL here, and you end up with x squared minus 6x plus 9. And then back here, we're going to take all of this and put it in for x right there. So we have 5, and then instead of x, we're putting x squared plus x plus 1. That's my 5x plus 1. So we distribute the 5 through there. You have 5x squared plus 5x plus 5 plus 1. So these two are going to become 6. So 5x squared plus 5x plus 6. That's your answer for g of h of x. And then we turn around and put 5x plus 1 into x there and there. You have to put it in both x's. So this is going to be a long one. So there is x squared plus x minus 1. So in these parentheses, we're going to put 5x plus 1. So 5x plus 1, 5x plus 1. So now you're going to have to FOIL this. So 5x plus 1 times 5x plus 1. And then add 5x plus 1. And then subtract 1. So when we FOIL this, 5x times x is 25x squared. 5x times 1 is 5x. And then another 5x gives you 10x, because that's 5x there, and then 5x here. And then plus 1. And then plus 5x. I'm going to go ahead and cancel those two out. So now we can combine this x and this x. 25x squared plus 15x plus 1. All right, on this, they want you to take 5 and put it into the f equation. And then whatever answer you get there, you're going to turn around and put it into the h equation. So first I'm going to do f of 5. So my f equation is 3x. So it's going to be 3 times 5 instead of x. I put 5 in place of x. That gives me 15. So now I'm going to take the 15 and put it into the h equation for x. So h of 15 is going to be, there's x squared minus 1. So instead of x squared, I'm putting 15 in there. So 15 squared is 225, minus 1 is 224. Same thing here. This looks long and terrible, but you're going to basically put 2 into g. The answer you get there, you put into h, and the answer you get there, you put into f. So start with g of 2. I know it feels like you're working backwards. You start on the right and work left, but that's how it is. So g of 2 is going to be, there's my x plus 4, because g is x plus 4. So instead of x, I'm putting a 2 there. So that's going to give us 6. So now I'm going to take the 6 and put it into h. So h of 6, my h equation is x squared minus 1. So there's x squared minus 1. Instead of x, we're putting in 6. So 6 squared is 36. 36 minus 1 is 35.